A Gold Coast property deal involving the Queensland Government and the Gold Coast Mayor is raising questions. A prime piece of Surfers Paradise real estate is up for grabs, and the sale is being negotiated by the state government with a development company the Mayor partly owns. Not only does Tom Tate head the Gold Coast City Council, Australia's second largest, he's also a multi-millionaire developer, meaning he has quite the juggle to manage his private interests with his public duties. Peter McCutcheon reports.
Clinging to a narrow sandy strip between the ocean and a swamp is one of Australia's economic miracles. The sheer excess of Queensland's Gold Coast is a testament to the will, tenacity and risk-taking of land developers.
I'm the one in the front left.
And this man is one of the city's richest developers. Tom Tate moved here from Sydney 15 years ago and last year was elected City Mayor. Today, as part of his mayoral duties, he's taking part in a simulated water crash to highlight a new helicopter rescue service.
Getting. Brace.
Tom Tate has built his political profile as an LNP-aligned independent as a successful businessman who was willing to have a go.
What went through your mind when you got wet?
Hold my breath. That's about it.
Mr Tate is one of the world's greatest optimists and one of the world's greatest enthusiasts.
But as Mayor, Tom Tate has to find a way of navigating enthusiasm for land deals with his duties in public office. And he's facing increasing scrutiny about how he purchased this prime piece of real estate from a struggling bowls club.
We were disgusted, really, you know. It all fell into place about how it had been done.
There are also questions about how Tom Tate manages a conflict of interest in trying to turn the bowling greens into a $300 million development on the edge of the Surfers Paradise CBD.
The councillors are feeling compromised, I'm sure. They're in the planning committee and they're looking at a situation that's going to make the mayor very, very wealthy.
Tom Tate first became involved with the Surfers Paradise Bowls Club in 2005. The club was in deep financial trouble, planning to sell its greens to a developer and relocate. But a company fronted by Tom Tate's business partner, Kelvin Gershbach, convinced the bowlers to stay put.
Someone had come along and rescued the bowls club. That's what we heard. And they were going to take it over, they were going to give it a whole facelift and bring in sort of the corporate sector.
The Bowls Club merged with the nearby Chamber of Commerce, but the much hoped for financial turnaround never happened. So it was business as usual.
Yeah, just the same. We just went on the same with that as it was our own bowling club.
Ken Jamieson was a member of the club. What he and many other bowlers didn't know at the time was that the club's managing committee had agreed to give the company owned by Tom Tate and Kelvin Gershbach, Crest End Limited, an option to buy the bowling greens if things didn't work out. That's exactly what happened in 2007.
The secretary divulged it to us after a game of bowls one day, actually, and it was just great with stunned disbelief.
But what really annoyed many club members was the price Crest End paid for the land. That was not only next to the centre of Surfers Paradise, it also had no building height restrictions. The club committee had previously corresponded with two developers who mentioned figures of more than $7 million. Tom Tate's company got the land for just over a tenth of that price.
And looking my way, that's it.
The usually media-friendly mayor wouldn't talk to the 7:30 program. Instead, his office referred us to the lawyer of his business partner. John Porter argues the $770,000 sales price was based on an official valuation and questions the earlier multi-million-dollar figures.
It's quite a common ploy for developers to float a number that looks really attractive, and then when you actually get the people committed to the thought of selling it, they find every reason to ratchet down the price.
3 years after purchasing the greens, a new controversy erupted when Crest End shut down the bowling club.
I think that Mr Gersbach and his partner got sick and tired of subsidising continuing losses.
But for Ken Jamieson, it suddenly all made sense.
I think it could well have been a setup right from the start. Each step they made was made with the object of getting hold of available land.
The fact that Tom had...
Former councillor and unsuccessful mayoral candidate Susie Douglas says Tom Tate talked about developing the site 3 years before the club shut down. She says she attended a council meeting in 2007 in which Property Finance's City Pacific put forward a casino development proposal that included the bowling greens.
I don't recall there being any talk about the actual bowling people, but I do recall that this was a site that they wanted to do extraordinary things with.
But John Porter says Mr Tate was probably freelancing.
Mr Tate is a man with flair and imagination, and I think that initiative to include the Bowls Club land as part of that proposal was perhaps unilaterally, I think Mr Tate probably got a little bit carried away.
Despite suggesting he would pull out of the Bowls Club investment during last year's mayoral elections, Tom Tate's company has since lodged a development application for a 52-storey apartment block on the site. This was approved by the Gold Coast City Council last month, with the mayor absenting himself from the vote.
I take my hat off to the developers to have a go, and that's what the mayor's doing, I think.
Max Christmas is a former councillor and one of the most famous real estate agents on the Gold Coast.
In getting that land at a fraction of what the land was quoted as being worth by other developers, has the mayor done anything wrong?
No, because it's a business he was in. There was an opportunity he saw.
The Surfers Paradise Bowls Club is now disbanded. Its members flock to nearby clubs like this one at Mermaid Beach. The Crest End development faces 2 more hurdles, buying up smaller blocks on their site that are still council and state government land. And the big question now is how the Gold Coast City Council negotiates with the development company part-owned by its mayor.
I don't think while the mayor's there anything should be done. I think it's very important that there's some public interest is put before his.
Peter McCutcheon reporting.